I'm Ava, and welcome to Korean Ladder, the radio lesson where Korean starts to click.
안녕하세요, 하나예요. 오늘도 한국어 소리를 자연스럽게 만들어봐요.
안녕하세요. 준호입니다. 오늘은 밥을, 물을, 책을 자연스럽게 이어서 말해보겠습니다.
Here's my problem. I see 밥을 and my English brain wants to say two separate chunks. 밥을, but Koreans sound like they're saying 밥을. Am I hearing that right?
맞아요. You are hearing linking. 받침이 뒤에 모음으로 넘어가요. The final consonant moves into the next vowel sound.
Important point. The spelling does not change. We write 밥을, but we pronounce it smoothly as 밥을.
So today is not a new grammar rule. It's a sound rule for making sentences flow.
네, 오늘의 핵심은 이거예요. 받침이 있으면 을이 그 받침을 받아서 다음 소리로 이어져요.
Listen first. 밥을 먹어요. The 비읍 sound links into 을. So it sounds smooth. 밥을 먹어요.
물도 같아요. 물을 마셔요. The real sound moves forward into 을. 물을 becomes very smooth.
책을 읽어요. The 키운 sound links into 을. 책을 is not choppy. It connects.
Let me just hear the three object chunks. 밥을, 물을, 책을.
보아요. 밥을, 물을, 책을. Each one is written as two syllables, but spoken as one connected sound group.
Now the frame. Use 을 after an object noun that ends in 받침. 밥 ends with 비읍. 물 ends with 리. 리을. 책 ends with 키은. So they take 을.
If the noun has no 받침, use 를, 커피를, 사과를, but today we focus on 을 and linking.
So, 밥을 is grammar plus pronunciation. Grammar says object marker, pronunciation says link it.
Exactly. And in a full sentence, the object chunk stays connected before the verb 밥을 먹어요.
Let's unpack the sound. 밥 has a final 비읍. 을 starts with a vowel sound. So the 비읍 becomes the first sound of the next syllable in pronunciation.
So I should not add a tiny English style stop after 노밥, 포즈, 을.
Right. If you pause, it sounds less natural. Korean likes this connection when a 받침 meets a vowel.
물을 is the same idea. 물 ends with 리을 and 을 begins with a vowel sound. So 물을 flows as 물을.
물을 마셔요. That feels much easier if I connect. 물을 first then add. 마셔요.
Good strategy. Make a small sound group. 물을 then 마셔요. 물을 마셔요.
책을 is also linked, but the kill sound can feel stronger. 책을 읽어요. Keep it connected, not heavy.
책을 읽어요. I'm trying not to punch the middle too hard.
Nice. One more detail. 읽어요 also has sound changes, but today keep your attention on 책을. 책을 읽어요.
Now let's use it in a tiny natural dialogue. Listen for 밥을, 물을, and 책을 as connected chunks. 밥을 먹어요?
네, 밥을 먹어요. 물을 마셔요.
네, 물을 마셔요. 그리고 책을 읽어요.
I heard it. 밥을 먹어요. 물을 마셔요. 책을 읽어요. There sticks to the noun, not to the verb.
Correct. The object marker belongs to the noun. In meaning, 밥을 means rice as the object. In sound, 밥을 is one connected chunk.
Repeat after me. 밥을.
밥을,
좋아요. Now in a sentence, 밥을 먹어요.
밥을 먹어요.
완벽해요. Next. 물을.
물을,
Good. Full sentence. 물을 마셔요.
물을 마셔요.
좋아요. Last one. 책을.
책을.
Nice. Full sentence. 책을 읽어요.
책을 읽어요. Common mistake check. I sometimes want to say 밥을 like two dictionary words, especially when I'm reading slowly.
That is very common. Korean spelling shows the pieces, but natural speech connects the sounds. 밥을, not 밥, then 을.
Another mistake is choosing 를 after 받침 because it feels easier. But after 밥, 물, 책, the correct object marker is 을.
So not, 밥늘, not, 물을, not, 책늘. The spelling is and the sound links forward.
Quick quiz. Which one sounds and reads natural for saying I drink water?
I'm choosing A. 물을 마셔요. B has the wrong marker, and C is trying to force a pause.
맞아요. A is correct. 물 has 받침, so the marker is 을, and in speech, 물을 connects smoothly.
Second check. You see 책을. Which version keeps the right spelling and speaking habit?
B. 책을 읽어요. The spelling stays. 책을, and the sound connects.
정답이에요. 책을 읽어요 sounds much more natural when 책을 is one smooth object chunk. 정리해 볼게요. 첫째, 받침 있는 명사 뒤에는 을을 써요. In English, after a noun with a final consonant, use the object marker 을.
둘째, 받침이 뒤에 모음으로 이어져요. In English, when a final consonant meets a vowel, carry the sound forward.
셋째, 글자는 바꾸지 않아요. In English, do not rewrite the word. Write 밥을, but say it smoothly as connected speech.
넷째, 문장 안에서 연습하세요. In English, practice the whole sentence. 밥을 먹어요, 물을 마셔요, 책을 읽어요.
My keeper sentence is 물을 마셔요. I'll remember. Or has a final consonant, so it takes and 물을 connects.
오늘은 이 한 문장만 기억하세요. 물을 마셔요. Remember this one sentence today. 물을 마셔요.
다음에는 받침이 or endings 앞에서 어떻게 이어지는지 들어보겠습니다. Keep listening for connected sounds.
You've been climbing Korean ladder. I'm Ava, and I'll see you on the next rung.